Hi, everyone. Thank you all for being here. My name is Aurelio Amaral, and I work with WISE, which is a think tank based in Doha, Qatar, that promotes innovation in education. We usually tend to associate innovation directly with technology, right? And that's not necessarily true. It is possible to be innovative using very old school methods, but technology is indeed an important means to create and develop new solutions. So I'm gonna share with you, based on the international exposure of WISE, how the African continent can use technology to advance its education agenda. So I'm gonna ask you first, who here in the audience thinks that it's a good idea for developing countries to invest in technology to improve their education systems? Okay, good number of yeses. On the other hand, I'm gonna ask who thinks that actually for countries with big challenges in education, they should actually devote their resources primarily to building infrastructure and delivering basic quality skills for all students. Okay, well, my point here today is that the two challenges are not necessarily mutually exclusive. Technology can help to achieve some basic objectives of ensuring access and quality education in a quicker and less expensive way. And I need to emphasize these two things. Why do we need to be faster in improving education? Well, there is urgency in education. According to estimates from the Brookings Institution, it will take 100 years at today's pace for the most marginalized youth to achieve the education levels that the richest students today already have. These generations, they cannot wait for that long. And why is it also so important to reduce costs? Well, because otherwise, budgets in developing countries will just explode. UNESCO estimates that if we want to include every out-of-school children into the system by 2030, the world will need to recruit about 70 million additional teachers. This continent already faces shortages of primary and secondary school teachers. So to tackle these issues, we would need either way more financial resources and or really creative ways to fill those gaps while at the same time preparing a new generation of teachers. So technology might help to tackle those hard and urgent challenges. And I'm gonna mention 4 ways that this can be done based on examples of projects around the world that WISE help to support. First, access, helping to get more kids into the school system. Second, retention, preventing kids from dropping out of school. Third, quality, improving teaching methods and pedagogical techniques. And finally, scaling up, making a solution feasible in other contexts for a broader audience. So first, access. How can technology help to integrate more students into the system? Imagine kids and youth without access to education. They most likely already come from communities where there is no access to technology in the first place. So how do you do that? One project of our community, Tapshurua in a Box, did that in a very smart way in Lebanon by providing refugee camps with boxes, actual boxes, loaded with offline content aligned with the Lebanese school curriculum. And the box also works as power banks and hotspots for up to 30 computers. So this helps to tackle the solution both in the form and the content perspective simultaneously. How about retention? Ensuring that good attendance, that students attend constantly schools and do not drop out, it requires a lot of human effort and a big school support system. So that can be something that technology can help as well. Ubongo, a platform based in Tanzania, they address dropout and retention through edutainment, education plus entertainment, basically content that is fun and learn-based, that also provides guidance for caregivers and schools to support kids in a motivational way so they don't drop out of school and stick with their studies. They reach millions of kids, but their secret is the content is not only broadcasted on the internet, they're also present in multiple platforms such as the radio, TV, and even SMS. Plus, the content is also adapted to different local languages, so kids are more likely to feel part of the solution as well. And the key here is that technology can contribute to diversify the means and also to customize content in a way that perhaps would not have been possible otherwise. Third, quality. So one approach that technology can take is to enable feedback and impact assessment in a way that would be much harder to do it offline. That's what Green Shots in South Africa does. They provide an online math curriculum to schools, and there is an embedded online assessment component. So the schools and districts that apply their methodology, they have almost real-time data to make quick adjustments to their teaching strategies. And it would take otherwise, I mean, how often do you guys take exams in school? Every month, every other 2 months? It would take a lot of time for school principals to realize what are the key pressing issues regarding each student. So the takeaway is that technology can provide real-time data for education, and that's very valuable. I mean, not only in education and in other areas of society as well. But the difference here is that perhaps in education, one effective evidence-based intervention at the right time can be the difference between a student getting their education at the right level and deciding to completely abandon schooling. So that makes a big difference. The fourth point, final point, is scalability. So tech can help to reduce costs and thus free up resources to expand to new markets and new frontiers. I'll give the example of Bridge Academy schools. They operate in many countries such as Kenya, Liberia, Nigeria, and Uganda. And they standardize and automate some of their work. So every week, teachers download very highly scripted lesson plans designed by experts based in the US, plus country teams as well. And basically, across the world, you have, at the same time, teachers delivering almost exactly the same lesson. And because of this standardization, they're able to offer service at a much lower cost, and also to have a better oversight over what works and what doesn't. So this model in particular is quite controversial. Critics will say that it takes autonomy away from teachers, that it doesn't take into account the needs of specific communities. However, it is one solution that helps to address one big problem at lower costs, and through that, it's possible to operate in a broader context, in a larger environment as well. So I just gave a few examples about how technology can help education. Some of these solutions might sound new to you. Some of them you might have seen in different areas of the economy or society. But the work that we do at WISE is really to make these solutions visible to local governments, visible to other organizations in other parts of the world, visible to investors that might help to enable expansion and scalability. Because yes, we do need to devote resources and attention to developing and testing new technologies, but we also need to invest a lot of time and effort to get those already existing solutions that have proven to be impactful and spread them out worldwide so that we can really help to close this 100-year learning gap that I just mentioned. So thank you so much, and I hope to engage with you afterwards, after the final. Thank you.